Hello, welcome to In Brandon. I'm Trenton Zazelak, and I'm here today with Sandy Donald, and we're talking about the multicultural festival that's happening in Westman this coming January. Sandy, welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So you're representing the Scottish Pavilion this year.
Yes, surprisingly.
Just in case we couldn't figure it out from the kilt.
Right.
Could you tell us a little about Scotland and the culture and the country?
Yeah, Scotland's it's a fairly small country. It's only got about 4 million people in it. Divided into the Highlands, which has got some high mountains and all the rest of it, and then the central lowlands with Edinburgh to the east and Glasgow to the west, and then you get down into the border area, and then you have to go into England after that. So that's the geography of it. The Clyde and the Forth, they sort of split it in the middle, and you're either a lowlander, a Highlander, or you're something in between.
So what's the difference between a lowlander and a Highlander? Is there a distinction in Scotland? I mean, I've heard that term before, but it's just geographically where you're from. Okay.
The Highlands is obviously where the Highlanders are from, and they are very traditionally Scottish. I think that if you look at the people from the central lowlands part of it, they seem to be a little more Anglified, if you will. That's not this main belt of where Gaelic is spoken and things like that. That's mainly the Highlands and the Islands. But yeah, once you mix us all in the same bowl, we're all Scottish when we come
all
out.
Scottish in the end.
That's right.
That's fantastic. So what are some of the key features of being Scottish? The accent is definitely something that you can recognize right away.
Yeah, it's the accent is a big key part of being Scottish, I guess. It depends where you are from in Scotland. There's people from different areas of Scotland that sound completely different. It's just like, being American or Canadian, because people from Manitoba and those Newfoundlanders, they don't exactly sound the same, but it's just the same as it is in Scotland, even though it's a fairly small country where we've got our dialects and our diversity within it.
Now, you did mention Gaelic earlier. Is that still a living language in Scotland, or is it?
In certain areas, I would say it is. There's a television channel, BBC Alba, which is predominantly Gaelic speaking. I don't think it's thriving, but it is surviving, shall we say.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, that's very good. Yeah. Good that they're keeping
absolutely.
A bit of a
I personally don't speak Gaelic, so
neither do I. Now, again, talking about the outfit that you're wearing today. Again, when we think of Scottish, very traditional. The way we think about with the kilt, comfortable shirt,
right?
The socks, the skin do,
right?
All that sort of thing. You're sporting,
right?
But that's not what people in Scotland wear on a daily basis.
No, they're just like everybody else. It's hard to pick a Scottish person walking down the street anywhere unless they're wearing their national attire, and then they're pretty easy to pick out. But no, like there's certain occasions, like we have our Burns supper coming up, and most of the people will be wearing the kilt at it, and I wear it to weddings and any sort of special event. It gets put on, saves me having to rent a tux every time.
Exactly. Yeah. So rather than tuxedo, you have something.
That's correct. Usually with a better jacket and a shirt and tie on, but it dresses up quite nicely.
So a little more formal, unless of course you're at an event like the Scottish Games. Then you
put the ghillie shirt on, because it's usually a bit warmer there, and you don't want to be wearing the jacket, so you just put it on and off you go. Some people just wear a t-shirt with it if they're going to be tossing the caber or something like that.
Absolutely. So what did you call the shirt?
It's a ghillie shirt.
A ghillie shirt.
Yeah.
Is that anything to do with the ghillie suit, or?
No, it's ghillie. It's the person that carries everything. It's sort of the fetcher and carrier.
Right on. Fantastic. All right. So now, speaking about the pavilions, now, how did you get involved in the Scottish Pavilion?
Actually, through the Westman Scottish Association.
Okay.
I'm the president of that association just at the moment, have the privilege of being that. So we put on the Scottish Pavilion as part of what we do. So it's you come by it quite naturally. Once you get involved with one, you naturally segue right into the other. So and it's good, and the committee take up a lot of the key roles in being able to put on the event. They take a lot of the chair positions, so that we can make sure that everything goes semi-smoothly, at least to the people that are there.
So one board sort of becomes another then?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We're sort of a select few that do a lot of that type of work. So yeah.
Absolutely. So the Scottish cultural organisation itself, does it have a very strong membership, or?
Yeah, we're always looking for new members as well. Like, there's a lot of Scottish people out there that aren't members of the Scottish Association. I guess it depends what you're into and what your time constraints are and all the rest of it. But always looking for new members, just like we're always looking for volunteers for the Pavilion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking about volunteers for the Pavilion, a lot of the Pavilion is based on volunteers, and no one gets paid to do anything.
Well, a bunch of the people that are doing the acts on the stage, we give them a stipend, or we do give them a little bit, especially if they're not, like, we've got a number that are not what you would call distinctly Scottish, but they do Scottish music and that type of a thing. So we like to keep that sort of thing alive. Like, a lot of the money that is raised through the Scottish Pavilion is given back to things that keep the Scottish culture going, like pipe bands, dance schools, that type of a thing. So we don't see anything wrong with maybe giving a little bit of money to the people that are going to be in our stage. And number one, it keeps them coming back, and two, it lets them keep our culture alive.
Yeah, by supporting them a little bit financially helps them to come out and have that nice. So what about your other volunteers too? Like I said, the board sort of is in charge of putting the Pavilion on.
Yeah, I'm the entertainment chair, and we've got somebody in charge of the bar, that's Susan Kerr, and then we've got Kim Haddo, she's in charge of the food, and we've got somebody else that's Isabel McBride's in charge of logistics, and and then Lorna Kincaid, who's actually an Irish lady, she's in charge of our volunteers. So she does all that coordinating and all that type of stuff. So yeah, if anybody out there is interested in it, just give Lorna a call and she'll put you to very good use.
Fantastic. So how many volunteers do you have? Do you have an idea of?
I wouldn't be able to tell you. We go through quite a pile every day, especially on Saturday, because that's when we're open the longest. We're open from 1 in the afternoon until 11 o'clock at night, so it's 10 hours of fun and games. So we go through quite a few volunteers that day. I would think we've probably got somewhere around the 40 mark, maybe something like that, because we're doing a fair bit with the food service and the bar and everything like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking to organise all that, because I mean you get hundreds and hundreds of people into the Pavilion every day.
Yeah, we do. We're a fairly big venue. We're at the Imperial Ballroom at the Victoria Inn, so we've got around about 400 people that we can have in there at any one time, and we've had that number in and had to keep people outside. Hopefully it's not too cold. So we'll see what we can do, but we do need a fair number of volunteers to make sure that everything's cleared up and everybody is safe and everybody has a really good time.
Everything is flowing smooth.
That's right.
Right on. So what do you have planned for entertainment this year at the Pavilion?
Oh, we've got a total of 7 shows, 2 on the Thursday, 2 on the Friday, and 3 on the Saturday, 1 afternoon show, which gives you a fairly good cross view of culturally Scottish things. But in between that, we've got everything from ukulele players to fiddlers to singers and musicians and pipe bands and everything like that. So we'll generally get somebody on the stage doing something, and the great thing is they're all from Westman. We don't have to go outside of the area to get our entertainers. We're fairly lucky that way, that we've got some very talented people in the community.
Absolutely, like you said, paying a small stipend to help people out is one thing, but if you have to bring someone in from Scotland as a showcase,
even if you bring them in just from out of province, you've got hotel rooms and travel and all the rest of it. So fingers crossed, we are fairly lucky that way so far anyway.
Right on, that's fantastic. So one of the exciting parts about the Multicultural Festival, you kind of touched upon this, a volunteer for food, is the food itself.
Right.
Now, there's some fairly unique Scottish dishes exactly, that are quite infamous in the rest of the world, but rarely tried by Canadians. So what are some of the items on the menu?
Well, we go. The haggis, I think, is the biggest one that people think about when they talk about a traditionally Scottish food. And it's, yes, we do have haggis. We have haggis pies, and they are fantastic. I heartily recommend them. But outside of that, we've got Scotch pies, we've got bridies, we've got a whole bunch of different stuff, and you put it with the neeps and the tatties, or turnip and potatoes for for everybody else. You put it with that, some shortbread, and it's pretty good. There you go. You could get your supper needs filled quite nicely.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it all. So what would you say would be one of the highlights of the pavilion? I mean, you've got a lot of entertainment. It sounds like you've got a lot of singers, dancers, pipers, fiddlers. What do you feel is something that's kind of sort of extra spectacular?
A lady 2 years ago actually said something that we're very, very proud of. She said, you walk in the door and this is a happy pavilion. There's some people they're enjoying themselves all the time. You know, regardless of what's up on the stage, there's people, we've got all the volunteers going around, mixing in. Everybody's very proud of their heritage, and so it comes out naturally to them. And that's one of the things I think that being the president of the Westmount Scottish Association, that was the sort of big pat on the back we got, was that we were always a happy pavilion.
It's not so much presenting the culture as it is inviting people to join
you sort of absorb it the whole time you're there. You know, it's how it's brought forward, it's how it's presented, and how people just take it in and really enjoy themselves.
Security there? Like, do you ever have any of the participants jump on stage?
Well, not jumping on the stage, but we have our Scotch Corner bar, and you know, people like to enjoy themselves, so we have to make sure that we keep Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries, we keep them happy by having certain safeguards in place. So we've got the rugby club; they come in and do a little bit of that for us. So.
Fantastic! Very good, very good. So speaking about the bar, I'm presuming that Scotch is certainly on the.
Yes, we get Scotch, we get beer, we get some of the liqueurs from Scotland. So we cater to everything. If you don't want to have something alcoholic, we've always got Iron Brew for the young ones or the young at heart.
Iron Brew?
Yeah, it's a Scottish national soft drink.
Oh, okay, excellent. So it's like a soda then?
It's a soda, orange coloured soda. Yeah.
Orange colour,
fantastic.
That does sound fantastic.
Yeah, we get ours through Super Thrifty. Just give them a plug, so they have it on sale there. So they're
really Super Thrifty. I'll have to check it out.
We might use it all up. You just never know.
I might have to get there before
the pavilion
start. Exactly.
That's right.
All right. So again, it's at the Imperial Ballroom at the Victoria Inn.
Right.
What are the hours of the?
We're Thursday is 6 p.m. until 11. And then Fridays are late night at 6 till 1 in the morning when we have our live band, Nothing But Trouble. They play on the Friday night, so we rock right through till 1 o'clock in the morning, and then we open our doors at 1 o'clock on Saturday and we close at 11. So
fantastic.
We're 11, 1 and 11.
Right on. Well, that's awesome. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about the pavilion or Scottish culture in general?
No, I think that you have to come and really you come and enjoy it. That's the best way. It's
experience the pavilion.
As they say, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and the experience it must be worth 1,000,000. So.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for sharing a bit about your culture and background.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. So if you're interested in the festival and would like to volunteer or sign up to be a volunteer, you can check out the website at gotothepavilions.com, or you can look up Westman Cultural Festival on Facebook or Twitter. Thank you very much.